Hi, my name is Richard Vella, and today I'm going to be presenting to you my Posterboard presentation on the relationship between increased housing prices and homelessness in Somerville. So the reason why this subject is especially important to me is I was born and raised in Southern California, and 2 years ago I came out to Massachusetts for PA school. During that time in California has gone through a recent upswing in homelessness and a recent upswing in housing price. So I wanted to see how Massachusetts was doing. And how I did that is initially I extracted data from the annual assessment reports to Congress on homelessness. This is the gold standard report that is published by the United States and presented to Congress every year. So initially, I wanted to look at the raw numbers, and I saw Massachusetts between 2010 and 2018 saw a 4,473 persons increase. Comparatively, I wanted to see the overall United States as a whole, see if this trend was essentially across the United States. And between that same 2010 to 2018, the United States as a whole actually decreased the homelessness population of 97,087 persons. I wanted to just pick out a state that had the most severe drop in homeless population, and I actually saw Florida as the most decrease in homeless population of 26,520 between that 8-year period. So the second step is I wanted to see the overall housing price in Somerville, Massachusetts. So in chart 2, you see here the trend in median single-family home selling price. I wanted to pick the median single-family home selling price because that is essentially where most of the population, if they are housed, this is the type of house that they would live in. So as I saw from 2008 to 2014, there was a fairly significant rise in housing price, over 100,000, over 150,000. We saw a slight decrease from 2009 and 2010. However, 2011 onward, a very, very steep swing in housing price. The second thing I wanted to look at is I wanted to look at the overall homeless population increase over the same time span. So there is some overlap, and the reason why is I wasn't able to find significant and reputable data of the housing prices before 2008 and after 2014. So for the housing price, I was only able to look at from 2008 to 2014. And I saw an increase in homeless population between essentially the overlap. So the third step I wanted to look into is once I was able to see that over the same span of time, housing prices skyrocketed and homelessness also skyrocketed in Massachusetts. So I wanted to look at two data points for poverty, the poverty rate of Somerville residents, and I also wanted to see for the income of Somerville residents, how much of their income are they paying compared to for cost of living, essentially. So on chart number 1, overall, the poverty rate of Somerville is above the Massachusetts average. So this was a fairly significant indicator that over the years, Somerville has been growing in poverty compared to the Massachusetts as a whole. And as you see on chart number 3, Massachusetts, again, Somerville over the years has had higher rates for the residents paying more for rent comparatively to their income. So you have a higher amount of cost of living comparative to the relatively average amount of salary. So the reason why this is significant is when an individual is forced with increased housing prices as they are skyrocketing, this is not only creating a higher burden on the individual, where they may be put in situations where if you have some sort of underlying condition, mental illness, drug addiction, this can put a very, very high burden on a population of Somerville, and this can create the potential for increase in homelessness, because you have a relatively skyrocketing housing prices, but the incomes are staying relatively stagnant throughout the years. The biggest question I would have moving forward is to see what Florida is doing in other states, the United States as a whole, and what is happening in Massachusetts with the housing price. Supply and demand, what is happening, that is something that I would like to understand further on. And the main limitation of this research is that it was extremely hard to find the homeless population of Somerville. However, it was very easy for me to find the single family home selling price. One data point I was able to find is Somerville does a point of contact homeless count every year. And between 2010 and 2018, the overall increase in homeless in Somerville increased by 466%. So that's very significant. The report did not provide raw data. That is something I would like to follow up on. However, it does give a good indication that Somerville is seeing a swing in increased homeless population. So this concludes my poster board presentation. I hope you enjoyed the my overall presentation. I appreciate you taking the time to share this with me. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and stay safe. Thank you.